Welcome back to Hoops Lounge. We're the show where our love triangles don't involve Tony Braxton. Yeah, I went there. My name is Marc Griffin, a.k.a. Montreal Mark. I'm joined by my partners in crime, Phil Boileau and Mota Elb. Today we're discussing another type of love triangle, the Kevin Love, LeBron James, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins love triangle. Guys, it's been an interesting week of free agency. Obviously, last week we talked about LeBron joining Cleveland, and now all this kind of scattering buzz in the air of Mr. Wiggins possibly heading anywhere and everywhere. Mota, welcome back to the show. What the heck are the Cavs doing right now?
I think they're thinking championship right now, right away. LeBron is 29 years old. He just came back. He sold out all his jerseys, even though he doesn't have a number yet. He is selling out all the tickets. He's doing everything, so they're thinking about championship right away. And when you look at the numbers, I don't think the Cavs or David Blatt or even their GMs want to wait for Wiggins to grow up and mature and be that Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen type thing. They want to win now, and I think Kevin Love will be a good fit for them.
Phil, on the other side of the fence, what is Flip Saunders in Minnesota doing?
I think he's playing these two guys like suckers against each other. I think he wants Klay Thompson at Golden State, and I think he wants Andrew Wiggins and the whole farm at Cleveland. I think in this position he's playing it well. He really doesn't have to trade Kevin Love right now. He can wait all up until the trade deadline. I mean, the onus is on these teams who want to receive Kevin Love to trade now because they want him for training camp to create that camaraderie during the whole season to make, as Mota pointed out, that championship run in either case, because when you look at it, both are, with Kevin Love, would be vying for a championship. So he's just playing that game that our kind Toronto Messiah Jerry with the Denver Nuggets played with the Knicks with Melo years ago, how they just tried to fleece him for almost every single player that wasn't a legit starter. And when we're looking at some of these past deals that Cleveland was supposedly offering, I don't know. I think it's nice to get Kevin Love, but you gotta watch out that you're not selling the whole farm when you're trying to get that prize cow.
Now, Mota, back in Golden State, it was announced today that Klay Thompson supposedly wants a max contract extension. What's going on over there?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you well. That question, can you repeat?
Oh, Klay Thompson asking for a max contract extension. What do you think is going on in Golden State?
I think he just wants a share of the pie. He doesn't want to leave. He's just claiming to his ego. He is definitely a great player, but in my honest opinion, he doesn't necessarily deserve the max contract because he's just a guy who depends a lot on Stephen Curry. And they are the Splash Brothers, and they are good together, but he just wants a guarantee, and there's a lot of shaky grounds right now around him, so that's why he wants something that guarantees him, so he's demanding a little bit more.
Now, Phil, I mean, one of the names being thrown out there along with Andrew Wiggins is his fellow Canadian Anthony Bennett, who's been also sizzling in Summer League. It's been interesting because they were both pulled out of the fifth game of the Summer League season, and surprisingly that day the Cavs told the media, for all the conspiracy theory people, they told the media that day that they wouldn't be available for any more games. None of that information was available before the game. Is this leading into anything?
Well, I think, look, if they're realistically pushing for this kind of trade and Minnesota is asking for all these pieces, I mean, it sounds to me like if you read the tea leaves, which we're all doing right now, that Tristan Thompson is just as much in the mix as Anthony Bennett. But I think LeBron James made it very clear that he wants to play with Tristan, having the same agent, Rich Paul. But when we look at those players, I mean, look, if either one of those, knock on wood, got hurt, the whole deal's over and the conversation's over. So I think these were the Cavs hedging their bets. What's one more game in the Summer League for these guys for improvement? I mean, it would improve them, but in case this goes down as a trade, if they go down with injury, the thing's over. So I think we're going to see Cavs trying to posture themselves and give a little bit less, maybe, because, you know, I've heard rumors involving Wiggins and waiters, and I'm hearing this, and I'm like, So who's playing your two guard? I get Kevin Love, but I think it was really just a smart move on the GM part, saying, you know what, we're not necessarily trading these guys, but if it's close and we need to pull the trigger, we don't want to deal with an injury. And it's not like it's a playoff game. It's not like it's a regular season game. It's summer league, and so it's not worth the risk of the injury.
And just to add to that, I mean, Minnesota, I think sometimes is asking a little bit too much. I mean, they asked Anthony Bennett, Wiggins, and I heard like they're asking for waivers, and they want even more like draft picks and everything. So it's just like they want the whole deal for Kevin Love. I agree, he's a great player. He's a 20 and 10 and 5 assists today, and he can shoot. He's like a Larry Bird type guy, and only Larry Bird put up those stats. But he has so many injuries in the beforehand in the previous season, so it's just also another risk from the Cavs. But I think it would be a great fit if he comes there early to train with LeBron, because he will show him how to stay healthy.
It's good that you mentioned LeBron. I'm going to throw this to you, Phil. Two things that you're talking about, the tea leaves. Andrew Wiggins is not yet signed by the Cavaliers. And once he signs to his rookie contract, he's not allowed to be traded for 30 days. So keep that in mind. A second thing, LeBron James did not mention Andrew Wiggins in his letter in Sports Illustrated. Are you reading into this at all?
I am and I'm not, because essentially we're talking about the difference between Dion Waiters and Andrew Wiggins at this point. Dion Waiters has played a year, a little bit more established. I think he has some good abilities, but if I'm looking long term and I'm LeBron James, I would prefer to play with Wiggins. I mean, I think he's going to take a lot of pressure off him, especially on the defensive end, and it's going to allow Wiggins to grow slowly and kind of like as LeBron's game kind of deteriorates a bit, which it will for everyone, even the best players in the league. Or we're going to see an upswing in this. So while I don't think I necessarily see that, I think his letter was more just talking about established players who were starters, who were getting minutes. He didn't mention Bennett either, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that he wants to see Bennett traded. It's just Bennett was not a legitimate part of that team last year, and frankly, neither was Wiggins because he wasn't part of that team. So he was talking about who were actually players on this team, and I think he was just being more realistic than anything.
Mota, I'm going to throw the last question to you. Speaking of love triangles, why not just do a 3-team trade? You send Kevin Love to Cleveland, you send Klay Thompson and someone else to Minnesota, and then you send Anthony Bennett, Andrew Wiggins to Golden State.
I think that would be a perfect fit for all of them. We'll have to see with Bill Simmons what he thinks of because he always loves the trades, just like Phil. But I see it happening, but the thing is, I think each team wants the best deal all the time. So it's and especially when it comes to Minnesota, they don't want to give up Kevin Love because he has. It's not only his playing capabilities, but also his marketability. He brings a lot of business to Minnesota, so he's also a guy that will bring a lot of business to the Cavs. So it's a lot of mix of things, but if it happens, I think it would be the best fit for all of them. Like the ones that you just chose will be the best. So Klay Thompson in Minnesota, because you need that guy who can actually shoot threes. And then you have Andrew Wiggins and Anthony Bennett, which would fit extremely well in the Golden State system. And then you have Kevin Love going to the Cavs, which they would need because personally, Anderson Varejao can play in the post, but he's not necessarily the guy who will score and will back up LeBron.
So there you have it, folks. That's the love triangle. The NBA drama continues. Thank you guys for being on. And stay with us. On our next segment, we'll have In the Post. Looking at some crazy statistics from the NBA playoffs. So thanks, guys, for being on, and see you soon in the lounge.
See ya.